Honduras has declared conservative Nasry Asfura the winner of the presidential election after weeks of delays, technical issues, and claims of fraud. Asfura, who was backed by U.S. President Donald Trump, finished less than 1% ahead of his closest rival.
A Christmas message from the newly minted president-elect in Honduras, Nasry Asfura.
Today, with deep gratitude and honored to serve in this way, I extend my hand so we may walk together with firm determination to work tirelessly for Honduras. I will not fail you.
Election officials announced his win on Christmas Eve after weeks of delays and uncertainty. Asfura is a businessman and a former mayor of the capital city. His supporters, who often refer to him as Papi, meaning father, are thrilled.
Papi is the man Honduras needs. Papi Nasry Asfura.
But his main rival, also right-wing candidate, rejects the election results. Salvador Nasrallah called this the saddest Christmas and said he would not concede. Official results show Asfura won by about 27,000 votes, or less than 1% of the total tally.
I will not accept a result built on omissions. That's not my way of life. Accepting that would be a betrayal of the trust of those who voted.
The election's many technical problems have fueled suspicions of political interference. Problems emerged almost immediately after Hondurans went to the polls on November 30th. There were technical issues, claims of fraud, and accusations of U.S. meddling. President Trump publicly endorsed Asfura and threatened to cut off support to Honduras if he did not win. A few days after the vote count started, he took to his Truth Social platform, warning there would be, quote, hell to pay if his candidate's narrow lead was overturned. Nasry Asfura is set to take office on January 27th.
Let's get more on this election from Manuel Orozco. He's the director of the Migration, Remittances, and Development Program at the U.S.-based think tank Inter-American Dialogue. Manuel, Hondurans went to the polls 3 weeks ago. Why did it take so long to count the votes?
Well, this is the consequence of when you have tight electoral results, you basically do electoral politics by other means. And basically you argue that the vote had irregularities, there was fraud, and the whole process starts by basically recounting a portion of those votes, of the ballot boxes in particular. And this was the case. At the end of the day, there was a consistent result during the process of counting the votes that showed that Asfura was ahead. He was ahead by a very small margin, but it always kept going ahead in the election. So the time that it took basically led to a conclusion that the Elections Commission decided to bring to an end.
And tell us more about the winner, Nasry Asfura. Who is he and why did U.S. President Trump support him?
Well, it's not the first time the United States offered a support or endorsement to a candidate in Honduras. It happened with Juan Orlando Hernandez on the first election, for example. But bottom line, Asfura is a traditional politician. He's very strongly involved with the National Party for many decades, and is an individual that enjoyed the support of the population, of the political base of the National Party. The choice of President Trump endorsing him, well, it reflects mostly real politics in Honduras and U.S. foreign policy. They did not trust Libre Party, which is a party that antagonized the U.S. on a regular basis, and did not trust the Liberal Party, which basically had been losing electoral support over the past 20 years. And Nasrallah is an individual that is perceived to be a loose cannon.
Now, Honduras is one of the poorest countries in Latin America. It's got a significant organized crime problem as well. And it's also deeply divided, as this election has showed us. How can Nasry Asfura address those challenges?
Well, I think this is the unfortunate part. Everyone focused on winning the election, but not providing effective solutions to the country. As you say, it has a serious problem of organized crime, it has serious problems of corruption. I mean, the brother of Mel Zelaya is a drug trafficker. The brother of Juan Orlando Hernandez was a drug trafficker. Politicians from the Liberal Party were in jail on allegations of money laundering. So there are no practical solutions, and the country is going to face an economic recession probably next year due to the decline in remittances and an increase in deportations to Honduras. So, unfortunately, this is one of the policy priorities that should have had attention from the candidates, but Asfura doesn't have a practical solution to it. It may be the better candidate at this point, but it's going to have a very difficult road ahead.
Now, zooming out a little bit, Honduras is the latest Latin American country to swing right. Earlier this month, Chile elected a right-wing hardliner as president. Do you think this is part of a broader trend?
Yes. Latin America has this ideological pendulum left to right. You can argue that the pendulum to the left ended with the election of Gustavo Petro in Colombia. From that point on, you have Paraguay, Argentina, Panama, Ecuador, Bolivia, St. Vincent, and then Chile. So you have at least 8 countries, and then you have the next election in Costa Rica that is likely going to turn to the right or remain in the center right. So this is a shift that is moving along, part of a more or less a pendulum of the Latin American political landscape.
Manuel Orozco from Inter-American Dialogue, thanks for talking to DW.
Thank you.